Hey, everybody. Cindy Ashton here, and I am with my amazing business partner, Christina Daves. Hi, Christina.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy
Happy.
Remembrance Day in Canada.
Well,
Yeah,
it's so good to be here with
it's not really a
everyone.
happy day. Well, we're celebrating. We're celebrating all. Yeah, I think we've got a really weird time lag going on. We do. So today we are going to talk about how to go from established to known. So if you're that person, you're a total rock star, you're an expert, you're doing well in your business, but you're like, but nobody knows who I am. In the next
Are you
20
the
to
world's
30 minutes,
best
we're going
kept
to go
secret?
through.
I hear that
You're the
all the time.
world's best. Keep talking, Christina, as I try to fix the internet. Keep talking.
Okay. Yes, I hear this all the time when I go to speak and I say, "Are you the world's best kept secret?" And people will all run up to me after that and they're like, "How did you know?" Everybody tells me that. And it's a common thread. You're so good at what you do, but nobody knows about you. Or you've got this great idea. And I mean, in 2010, I invented a product, Cosmetic Designs, which was fashion accessories for medical boots. It was a great idea. Everyone I told loved it. Nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about that. Nobody knew
Yeah.
about me. I was just a retail store owner before I did this. I was not on a national platform, but in less than a year, I put myself there through media and through the things that we're going to talk about today. So it is possible, and it is possible to do it in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. And Christina, what I love about your story is you weren't actually even established. You went from starting out to known in like 11 months. And
I
I
own
kind of did the same thing.
I had a retail store in Haymarket, Virginia. People around here knew me in my community, but certainly not on a national platform where I needed to be with that product. And yes, Cindy, share your story because it's unbelievable.
It's kind of crazy. So I had an established business back home in Canada, which meant that that I literally had never had to actually go ahead and advertise. When I was in Canada, I just had a stream of referrals, and then all of a sudden I decided to immigrate to the US, and I didn't think it would be a big deal because I had a potential couple of jobs, and and by the time I got here, the 2008 crash had just came up, or had just happened. I had just spent $100,000 of my house money, sold my house, sold all my possessions, just spent all that money on immigration. It was a very expensive little adventure, and I got here, and at that point, those couple of potential opportunities were gone. And I got here and I thought, oh shit, I just sold my all my possessions. I have no money left. I have nothing to do for marketing. And literally within that first year, I went from established to known. Truly, I was on some of the biggest stages in the world, like with some of the biggest names, like from The Secret, because at the time The Secret was really big. I ended up, oh, I forgot to pull out the magazine, but I was featured in Performance Magazine. In terms of, I had a full article, and on the back page was Trump's article, and a couple of pages later was Obama's article. So the three of us were in this business magazine, all giving one-page articles within 3 pages of each other. It was crazy, and just after the year mark, I got an award from President Obama, and I can go on and on and on. And so it is entirely possible to go from established to known. And if Christina can do it as just starting out in less than a year, and I can do it being a brand new immigrant in this country, plus navigating all the crazy of the economic crash and not knowing anybody, literally from scratch, even though I was established, we're going to tell you what we did. That's what today is about.
Uh-oh. And Cindy locked up, and I don't know if I'm still live, so I hope so. Um, so what I did, just to kind of share my story, is I use media. And I was broke, you guys. I had, just like Cindy said, I invested all the money that we had. We actually mortgaged our house and maxed our credit cards because this is before 3D printers, before anything like that. So I had to have everything manufactured overseas. And don't get upset because I tried to do it in the US. I can show you a yellow pad of every factory in the United States that I called that would not manufacture my product because I was not established, which is really interesting now that I think about that. Uh, so I had spent all of this money and ended up realizing that publicity was free. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can figure this out and get myself, Cindy just said her internet crashed. I'm still live. We're going to still go. Anyway, if I could figure out PR, if I could get in the media, it could change everything, or at least that's what I believed. And it really was true. So, because I had done a business plan and sent it, just assumed that doctors would buy my product. It made perfect sense. Well, this is before the insurance was such a disaster. And they weren't doing retail operations in their offices. So, long story short, I went to the library, I read on the internet, and I started pitching the media. And this was probably like April 2010. And it didn't go very well for me. I'll just tell you this. So I'm trying everything to get my product sold. We've got X amount of money. By December, I didn't know what I was going to do because had to pay the mortgage back and the credit cards were due. So I just kept going and I kept trying and I made a lot of mistakes. And then I started to figure things out. And the biggest stuff happened towards the end of the year. So by October, I had landed on the Steve Harvey show. It was just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. It was like a Shark Tank kind of thing, and it was a top inventors competition, and I won. The visibility that show gave me, and it's syndicated, so it was constant. It was like I had repeats for year one and year two. It was unbelievable. Totally put me on the map. And then I got Diana Ross to wear the product, which was amazing. She sang for President Obama for Christmas in Washington. I just asked. I put together a really good ask to the receptionist at her manager's office, which got me to the manager, which got me to Diana Ross. But then I went back to Steve Harvey because I had so much success. I sold 6 figures of product from that early appearance. She's back. I'm just telling you the story of how I got myself established in the first year. And then after Diana Ross wore the product, I went back to Steve Harvey. They did another segment on me and that I'd won the competition. And then he said, if the diva of divas, Diana Ross likes this, it's got to be good. And that really solidified me. Then I went to my local NBC. I said, hey, I'm going to be on the Steve Harvey show. They did. It's just thinking ahead and planning this out. And then I ended up on my local Fox. I ended up in the Washington Post. I ended up on Dr. Oz. And this was in my first year. And that put me on the map. That instantly got me established, and it instantly got me known because of all of the media exposure.
Yeah. And I missed a bunch because my internet likes crashing, even though I have my Ethernet plugged in and I've talked to Spectrum multiple times. So we just go with the flow.
My story. It's okay.
No, but your story, I love still hearing it because it's truly incredible what you managed to pull off in 11 months. And media attention is only one thing. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about is people think, oh, I just need to be in the media and I'll be known. But there's so many other pieces of it, because I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday who's looking at joining us for our Get PR Famous program. And we were talking about this around the fact that you could go and pay a publicist, or you could buy a program from somebody other than us, and they'll help you. They'll teach you how to get media. But the problem is that if you do a great hook and you do a great pitch, and the media goes to check you out, and you're not reputable online, that's a problem. So let's actually dive into the 4 real pieces that you absolutely need, that both Christina and I have done, and what those nuances are between, because it's not just media attention, it's a whole system that we work with our clients with. And I love this our LinkedIn user, I don't know who that is. I love the story, Christina, and every time I hear it, I get excited all over again for your success. Oh, whoever you are, you're a love bug. So one of the first of the 4 staples has to do with brand. And a lot of people go, but I've got a great website, or I know my colors, my logos, and my tagline. But if you look at the people that are known, they're not going around and saying, here's my problem, and here's my solution, and here's my pretty website. They're not. And what they are doing is that they have a very strong brand voice. What the heck is a strong brand voice? What is a brand voice? So a brand voice, within that, you've got your brand personality, you've got your brand experience, your values, your missions, all these different pieces. But the easiest way to think about this is you think about Nike shoes. I have never met anybody who tells me that they bought Nike shoes because of the strengths of the soles of the shoes. They buy it because let's do it, just do it. Let's be champions. We look at somebody like Zappos. They're selling happiness. What is the bigger thing that people want to be part of? When people feel like there's a bigger mission, look at politics, right? We just had the election. It was very divided. Unfortunately, we can't have healthy conversations in this country. Having said that, part of the reason why it's very divided is because people are, this is my mission, this is my mission, and then they're not, and they want to be part of that tribe. And so it's the same thing with your business. It's about really building a tribe with a strong brand voice and personality and values and mission, and that experience of how you're making people feel that makes them want to step up. Because we're going to tell you, they're not only going to step up, but they're going to spread the word. And they are going to pay way more money because they are part, because it gives them that prestige.
Right. And it's so important. People don't realize it that and I wear pink. You guys know this. So, but there's so much more to my brand than the pink.
Yeah.
It's a relatability factor. My brand is really, well, if she can do it, I can do it. I wasn't a publicist. I wasn't on TV before. I had no experience. I figured out a system that worked, and that makes me very relatable to everybody watching. And it is true. I can say this, I knock on wood every time I do, but the system's foolproof. No one has ever called me and said, Christina, I did everything you said and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But you've got to follow the system and the strategy. And, that's what we work with people on, is how do you make yourself newsworthy? How do you build your brand so that, then when the media comes and checks you out, it's like, oh, check that box. That's easy for us to say yes.
And here's a big myth, Christina, that people don't realize is that they have a beautiful website and all their messaging is there, and they don't understand why the media will still turn them down. And that's one of the nuances between going established to known, is that you might have a great website, but it may not be sellable to get media attention or to get speaking engagements or to attract leveraging influencers. So we're giving you some clues of where we're going for the rest of this broadcast. Right. So the second piece,
no, I was going to say, and it's so important and to evolve that. Literally, as we evolve these programs, I just redid my whole speaking website, which I have to say is fabulous.
It's fantastic.
But it is going through, and sometimes you have to get out of your own way and let somebody else help you with it, because in your head, that was my problem. I'm like, no, I'm a great speaker. I have a great website. And I actually had to hire somebody to get me out of the way, to say, no. You're missing some pieces here, Christina. I don't understand, and fixed it. And, between that and what we do, it's amazing. Now I'm excited.
I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited. All right. So that's the first staple, is your brand. It's not logos, and it's not what you think it is. That's the nuance between established to known. If you're established, you're selling a problem and solution. If you're known, you're selling a bigger brand, a bigger purpose for people to be buying into. And that's a simplified explanation. The second, Christina's already talked a little bit about, but it has to do with media attention. Talk to us about what's one big ass myth, and why is it so important to know this?
So important. The biggest myth of media is that the media wants you. What they want is value for their audience. I'm not saying they don't want you. They want you to provide value. I always say, everyone would like an expose on a 60 Minutes or a show like that, but that's not going to happen. You're in the media as an expert. You're providing value to their audience. So when you pitch, you've got to pitch it that way. It's not, hey, me, which so many people do. Well, I'm great at this and I'm good at this and I can. No, this is what your audience needs, and I can help solve their problems. I can answer their questions, versus making it all about you, the expert.
And and the other piece of it is that there's a lot of fake press going around, because getting media attention means you're actually being interviewed, you're actually being quoted, you're actually being chosen because of your expertise. And a lot of people are still selling out there. You've got to do a press release.
Oh, and can I tell a story?
Go. This is your baby. Go.
I met with a client, a potential client, and website, unbelievable. Press page. You guys, you wouldn't believe the logos. I said, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Because you're kind of vetted when you get all these logos and stuff. But here's the
Right.
problem. When I clicked on the logos, they didn't go anywhere. And when I asked her, I'm like, well, wait a minute, you've got 200 media appearances. She's like, no, no, no. I did a press release. And so what they do with the press release, so everybody understands, you're paying your $500, $600, $800.
Oh, I've seen people pay 1,500.
Yeah. And it gets housed on a server. It's just the press release. It's not an article. It's not an interview. So it's just sitting there. So you're not, I want to say you're not allowed to, but you shouldn't ethically take, because they'll give you a report with hundreds and hundreds of servers that you
Right.
sat on. That's not media attention. You media attention has to, you've got to be able to click and go to a PDF, go to a website, go to a podcast, go to television, go to a magazine, go somewhere where you are actually interviewed, not just your press release that you wrote that someone's like, oh, I'll hold it here for 24 hours because that's the process of a press release. I'm
Right.
done.
And there you go. Warren says, howdy, Christina.
Hi, Warren.
I love it. Right. And no, and I'm glad we're talking about that. We're, when we talk about media attention to get known, it's reputable media attention. It is getting known. And one of the things that's magical that we do with our clients is that it's not just about getting media attention, because that's wow to begin with, but how do you use that? So we teach our clients in our Get PR Famous program, really, how do you repurpose that in your sales conversations and your sales cycle? Like, how do you actually, where do you put it in your sales cycle? How do you repurpose it on social media so that people can continue to see you as known? And that's a really big piece. We're going to go into the third piece of really getting known, but if you are curious to learn about Get PR Famous, you can do it there. I would love to, before we go to the third piece, that third element out of the four, talk to us, Christina. Sorry, I should leave that up a little bit more for people. Talk to us, Christina, about that realtor who was brand new starting out. Within 6 weeks, he had one press interview and never had, just because it's so true. These aren't one-offs, because you literally, every single one of your clients gets media when they do what you tell them. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. So Dustin had been a store manager at Bed Bath & Beyond and a local manager. And what he was really good at was Facebook ads. Well, then he decided to get his real estate license. And it was literally like 2 weeks after he had his license that we started to work together. And for those of you who follow me and know me, I think really big. You have to think big. You dream here, you land here, you're still doing great. So Dustin came up and he said, Christina, I've got a great idea. I'm going to pitch the Washington Post. And I said, yay, that's awesome. I right away I fell in love with him because he's thinking big, like I think big. And it's just awesome. But I said, might not happen the first time. It doesn't always work. We've got to keep up the system. He's like, no, I got it. So he pitches the Washington Post, gets an article in the Post all about selling your homes using Facebook ads.
Right.
And so this was right around the holidays, and he has 3 daughters. So I'm like, I'm going to leave him alone. Well, after the holidays, I texted him in early January and I said, Dustin, what happened? Like with the article? He said, Christina, I got $6 million plus listings in 5 weeks.
Yes.
First year in business. And if there's any realtors on here, this is amazing. He did 24 billion in business. Second year, doubled it. And I saw him not long after that. And I was like, Dustin, why don't you get more media? He goes, I don't need to. He goes, I take that one article to every listing appointment. Because this was a couple of years ago, but he was showing them something very new, very unique. That was his niche. He won every listing appointment and literally positioned himself as a luxury agent, which is what he wanted to do, but by getting those $1 million plus listings. So he went from established to known in 2 or 3 months.
And he wasn't even established. He was a brand new realtor.
Brand new. No, he one article and he planted his stake and said, this is it. I am your realtor because of that media appearance.
And here's what I want to say, because I've known Christina now for 3 years. We met 3 years ago, 3 years and 1 month ago, and one of the biggest blessings of my life. And what I know about her, because I've been in this world for a long time, is that what she knows about getting media attention is so beyond what I've ever seen with anybody. And because she's not just, she has a system, but she looks at the whole picture. And so do I from the speaking side, which is what we're going to talk about next.
Yes.
But it's really important to understand that that it's actually not that difficult, and people get really intimidated, and they go, "Oh, I don't want to be on camera." Well, then pitch for print, pitch for the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, whatever, you know. Um, but truly, it's actually not hard. What makes it hard is that the majority of solutions out there are not a holistic solution, which is what we do at Get PR Famous. And so the third piece is speak from your power, is a speaking piece. And there's a big difference. So being able to get on big stages, being able to get on camera and just do videos every day, on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, being able to use your voice in sales conversations. All these pieces are really important. Now, you might be thinking, Cindy, I've already had speaking training. Awesome. That's a good base. Speak from your power. There's nuances between these two, between being a good speaker, between being somebody who has never been trained, but you're good with people, you're a good presenter, to somebody who actually moves the masses. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So for example, I have a lot of people that come to me and they say, "Hey, Cindy, I spent $5,000 or $10,000 to get my talk written for me, or, coach me through my talk. I don't know why I'm not making money from it." And so I take a look, and there's two problems I'm seeing. The first is that that person has great content and they just map out the content. Here's an intro, here's the 3 bullet points, here's the ending. But that content doesn't do anything. The people who are truly converting on stage without having to do sales script, which is the second problem. The second problem is that a lot of people are being given sales scripts, and that's a massive, massive problem. Because when you are being given a sales script, most, like our ideal clients, are so heart-based, they're doing this from their passion, they don't feel comfortable doing a sales script. And in today's environment, more than ever, audiences they smell that bullshit from 5 miles, from like a mile away, not even. So the thing is that you don't even need to sell. I mean, I tell Christina stories of when I would be in front of 10 people and walk away with $100,000, or when I'd be in front of 30 people and like, and a lot of it has nothing to do with that. If you want to get to the point where you are selling a ton without selling, it's the nuances. So the difference between being a good speaker to being a great speaker, there's two differences. For your speech, is not just mapping out content and doing scale scripts. It is actually knowing how to bring somebody on an emotional journey. And coming from an extensive acting, singing, dancing background, I'm really looking at it of how are you connecting and building rapport with your audience? Because here's the truth of it: if they know, like, and trust you, they will buy from you. And the second piece is that you don't have to do sales scripts if you have helped people to have great insights and really feel connected and bonded, that they're just going to want to, obviously there'll be some kind of an offer, but it's like, if you feel like you want to go deeper, let's chat. It could be that simple and you can make 100 grand. So the second piece is the actual presentation part. The problem with a lot of presentation training is that it's about making you polished and perfect. I don't know about you, but none of us are polished and perfect, and that's not relatable. I was just watching a video by Gary Vee the other day, and I was moved. I was truly moved. And if you look at most speaking trainers, are going to say, well, his voice is this. He has all kinds of issues. Having said that, he speaks from his power because he's so connected to who he is and in alignment. And so the speak from your power piece is about being fully embodied, that people are like, holy shit, I have to work with this person, because they feel the alignment, they feel the power, they feel the energy. And it's not some fake, I'm going to be pose here and smile and be overly articulate. It's not that we don't want you to be articulate, of course, but that's what the nuances are. And so it's been pretty amazing to see the successes that we've had. Dr. Terrence Young. Here is somebody who is a gynecologist. I know he's our heart, and he just had a baby girl a few months ago, and I'd have to text him for more pictures. But here's somebody who had never spoken in his life. And literally within 3 months of training, he was doing videos online, blah, 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 blah. And he got picked up to be a paid speaker. And he wasn't even, they had never seen him speak ever. He had his speaking topics and all that because I worked with him on that. But he didn't have a speaking website. He didn't have a one sheet. They just saw him doing daily videos, and they were so impressed by his daily videos that he got a multiple 4-figure speaking gig for his first speaking engagement. And I was so proud. And Christina was there because she got hired, obviously paid a lot more because she's right up there. But it's truly amazing what happens when you learn how to speak from your power, that it just attracts to you versus you having to push so hard. And then of
Wait,
course,
and Cindy, don't gloss over that. That's so important. So many people, and you don't even realize you're doing it. And I've been through the Speak from Your Power training with Cindy. I've learned so much, but
oh,
so many speakers go out with a push energy, and learning how to turn that around so that the audience is, you're like, it's a big kumbaya, everyone's
yeah,
together, and listening to you and wanting to hear what you have to say
yeah.
is just such a difference. And you talk about Gary Vee, he's brilliant at that, and he's rough and cusses a lot, and that's fine, but his passion, that man loves what he does and believes what he says, and learning to embrace that and embody that. That's really what speaking from your power is.
I'm so glad, Christina, that you summed that up, because it is. It's not about that push energy, but it's about that invitation energy where people feel attracted to you. When
Right.
you are known, people are attracted to you. You're not hustling, you're not begging anymore. It really makes a difference. So where Warren says, I have a focus this year to get PR for myself as an executive director. Yes, yes, yes. I'm
Oh,
so
and
excited for
Warren
you.
is a rock star. Cindy, I'll tell you all about his nonprofit. It's super cool. But that's
I
awesome.
freaking
Awesome.
love. Okay, you know me on all my causes, so you're going to get me hooked into another cause. That's great. I'm excited. The other one I wanted to talk about before we go into the fourth staple is Doug Brown. Here's somebody who is for 8 years former president of sales for Tony Robbins. For 8 years, former president of sales for Tony Robbins.
Yes,
Do you
and
think he knows?
not a some guy named Tony Robbins. The Tony Robbins you think it is, like the big Tony Robbins, the big coach.
Right, because he's the guy behind Tony Robbins making all that money. So does Doug know something about selling?
A little bit.
Clearly, just a little bit. Within 3 months of working together with me, I gave him a strategy, and then he went on to work with both of us, of course. Usually, our clients will start either with both of us, or they start with one together, and they're like, "Oh, wait, I need her next." But within 3 months, I gave him strategy. I tweaked his talks to make it more of an emotional journey. I took away all the damn sales scripts that he's so brilliant at doing that normally converts, and within a year, he made $660,000 from those 3 months together. I'm going to repeat that. 3 months of working on strategy, his speech, and his presentation, reworking it to be about embodiment and connection with an audience, and from the emotional journey, an additional $660,000. And this is from the former president of sales for Tony Robbins. So for those of you who are introverts or don't like selling, you're probably really excited right now. By the way, at the bottom, there's visibilityconsultation.com. You can book a call with us if you want to find out more. So let's go on to the fourth and yet another very important topic, Christina. So talk to us. The fourth are kind of several within one, but it's really about leveraging influence, whether it's strategic partnerships, whether it's landing sponsorships, whether it is leveraging influencers. So talk to us, Christina, about what somebody established is doing versus somebody who's known, because we really want people to understand the nuances.
Right. So, and we teach this with influencer marketing, and I've learned so much from Cindy on this. I
Oh,
was new to this world. But I think of an influencer is, oh, Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, like I can't get to them. Uh, but there's a whole nother tier of influencers in your world that you don't really even realize exist that you can provide value to. And they're just a little bit further ahead of you than you are, but knowing how to position yourself so that you provide value to them, so then they're like, oh, Cindy Ashton, she's awesome, I'm going to go, I want to share her with my audience. So you're not working with your direct competitors, but who are you in line with, and finding those people. And when you're established, that's easy to do. And as your following grows and grows, you become more known in your space because these influencers are sharing you with their world.
I love how you described that, Christina. And part of it is also knowing how to use your social media, which is something else that we do and Get PR Famous. It's also knowing how to use your social media, not just to be posting a bunch of content. And most content is nothing, but again, we work with you to hook people in and get engagement. But a lot of it is also how you actually connect with influencers. There's ways to connect with influencers that makes them the hero, but leverages their tribe, and it feels really good. It's not, let's tag 100 people. Oh my God, I'm at this point. I literally block people if they tag me in a post and it's not relevant to me.
Right.
But it's really understanding how to do that piece. but there's also understanding how to be in the right rooms. Like, for example, you were at the CMAs. We still haven't, oh my God, we still haven't like connected about that yet because he just got back from Nashville. But one of the things that we do with our clients is we get them to these high-end events where their potential partners are, their potential clients are. Do you want to tell us a little bit about CMAs, or should we talk about the Oscars, or both?
Yeah, no, it's like you said, it's putting yourself in the right rooms, showing that you've been in those rooms. But yes, I was at the CMAs. It was incredible. Just an unbelievable experience. We're going to be at the Oscars in March. And again, and
I'm walking the red carpet as one of the
so,
people.
yeah, more detail on all of that. But
we already have some of our clients that want to come with us and be at our
yeah,
table.
we can take our clients into these rooms with, these are all high net worth business owners, professionals, entrepreneurs, people you want to do business with. And, putting yourself in those rooms elevates you, because it's, well, who's that? Who's that? Oh, Zac Efron's in this room. These other
Yeah,
must be pretty impressive. And I think that's who's in the room we're going to be in.
it is.
So, but again, that just puts you more on that known track when you're, and this is not, and I'm going to go on another little soapbox rant. This is not going to somebody who rents out a private jet for 30 minutes and has all their friends come over so you can sit in the private jet and take pictures, or
Yeah,
you
that's
rent
fake.
a Bentley and put it in your driveway and act like it's yours. No, this is legitimate. You deserve to be there. We can get you there, and you can be in a room with people that could be potential great business opportunities and partners for you.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you talk about that. And I want to share another differentiation is that you're not doing endless, people who are known are not doing these endless coffee dates on Zoom.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I have people reaching out all the time. Do you want to do a coffee date? No, I don't do that at my level. And I wouldn't say that because it sounds so egotistical, but I don't do coffee dates. You're demanding my time. You pay for my time.
I was going to say, your time is valuable, and
Your time
everybody,
is valuable when you're known. you
yes.
know, and or even like the regular like networking events. I don't go to networking events unless they're very specific, because if I'm doing general networking, I'm probably the strongest person in the room. If you want to be known, you can't do the basic business networking like you've done before. You've got to get into these bigger, high net worth rooms where you're dealing with multi-million-dollar companies and multi-million-dollar, in the media, and that's again a really important distinction. I know, Christina, you went to a really amazing high net worth event that you paid to be in. Again, you also, Christina, you do a great job of not going to running around to every little networking and business event, but you're very strategic where you pay to be in the right rooms. And then we take our clients to even bigger rooms, which is so fun.
Yeah. Because that's how you're going to meet the people that, we say this all the time. What we work with our clients on is,
Yeah.
who's your ideal client? Like, dream of the one person that you love to work with your whole career, that you could just, if you could just replicate them over and over and over again, because then you're not working, then you're having fun. And that's what we help you do, is work with those people that you want to work with, that you're not scrounging like, oh, I need to pay the bills, I have to do this. No, it's shifting everything so that you're choosing, you're making the choices, you're at a level where you can work with who you want to work with because it brings you joy.
Yeah, I love that. It's a totally different mindset. It's a totally different strategy. So, I mean, today we really covered the differences and what you need to do. Now, if it sounds overwhelming, that's what we're here for. That is what we're here for. And if you're feeling inspired, that's awesome. Check out our getprfamous.com. Book a call with us, visibility consultation, and we can really go through with you help you to identify where you truly are and which strategy, because we've went through a lot today. And we have the whole system. Some people start with one thing with us and then keep adding. And some people are like, I've got this amount to invest if I want all of it. So we will help you to figure out what that is. So check out our getprfamous.com and book a call with us at visibilityconsultation.com. Christina, did you have any final words?
Yeah, and it is an application process. This isn't for everybody. If Cindy and I can't help you get to that next level, we're not going to have you come. And there are people that we've said, you're just not quite there yet. Here are some things we'd really like to see you do, and then please come back. Because we do, you do really need to be established. And this does not mean years and years and years in business, but you've got to have a platform that we can work with. And so anyway, it is an application process, but if you want to, and then you can book a call before, you can book a call after, but we'd love to talk with you and let you know what we might be able to do for you.
That's awesome. Christina, I'm so happy I got to spend, this time with you, even though we're together all the time. And I'm always so excited to see our audience and how phenomenal they are. And, I love to see phenomenal people stepping up. So thanks to everybody for watching.
Awesome. Great to see everyone.
Oh, wait. Gene, we love him. Gene is brilliant. You guys are the best. Such great info. Yay. We're so glad. We're so glad. We're so glad. Thank you, Cindy and Christina. Love your energy, passion, and great tips. Good. We're so excited.
And we wish we knew who LinkedIn user was.
Yes, who is LinkedIn user? Do you want to drop your name in the chat box? Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, it is. Oh, wait. Thank you both. Okay, so this is probably a different LinkedIn user.
They're just all popping up that way. Well,
they're all popping up. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Margaret is. Thank you, ladies. Our joy. Bye, everyone.